Very good afternoon to one and all. In continuation to the first lecture, first two lectures, we are going to discuss about the jigs and fixtures. And in today's class, we are going to discuss about the principles of clamping. So in jigs and fixtures, so what we need to do? So why all this stuff? What is the function of jigs and fixtures? So all those stuff we discussed in previous classes. You know well that to machine the workpiece, or if you want to if you need to machine your workpiece or the blank, that has to be strongly and rigidly clamped against the supporting surfaces. Okay, it has to be strongly and rigidly clamped. Why it has to be done like that? So that it does not get displaced under the cutting forces during the machining. Okay, so the blank or the workpiece does not get displaced at all the cutting forces during the machining operation. So the clamping, so I can define the clamping as pressing the workpiece against the locating surfaces. For what? To hold it there is called the clamping. So pressing the workpiece against the locating surfaces to hold it there is called the clamping. You are clamping it. And the tools used for this are called clamps. Okay, I hope now you understand. So that is a function of a clamping and the tool clamps. Okay, the most common example of a clamp, do you know what it is? It's a bench vise. So where the movable jaw of the vise exerts force on the workpiece, thereby holding it in the correct location in the jaw of the vise. Well, most of you have, while doing some kind of carpentry operation, while doing some kind of fitting, you have used the bench vise, isn't it? So what is the how it was? As I told you, the movable jaw of the vise exerts force on the workpiece, thereby holding it in the correct location. Okay, so the clamping device which ensures proper location and centering of the workpiece. Before doing the filing, before doing the filing operation, so you have to hold the workpiece in the right position, isn't it? Yeah. So what are the essential requirements of clamps? Let's look into it. What are the basic requirements of clamping devices? First one would be the workpiece must be held rigidly while the cutting forces are in operation or during the machining. So during the machining, the workpiece must be rigidly, it held rigidly. The workpiece must be held rigidly while the cutting forces are in operation or during the machining. Okay. The second point, the clamp used should be quick acting so that the time required for the loading and the unloading must be minimum. Okay, the time required for the loading and unloading will be minimum. And the third point would be the clamp must be able to withstand vibration, chatter, and heavy pressure. The fourth point would be the clamp must not damage the workpiece. So these four basic and essential requirements of clamping devices all should keep in mind. Workpiece must be held rigidly. The clamp should be quick acting so that loading and unloading must be minimum. The time required for the loading and unloading must be minimum. The clamp must be able to withstand the vibration. The clamp must not damage the workpiece. Okay, it should not damage the workpiece it holds. And then another, we should also learn what are the main principles of clamping. While designing for clamping, the following factors essentially need to be considered. First one would be the position, which means when you are going to position the clamping should be positioned to direct the clamping forces on a strong supported part of the workpiece. Yeah, you keep the workpiece for machining. While doing the machining, please ensure that these cutting forces imparted by the cutting tool is acting on the strong supported part of the workpiece. Strong supported part of the workpiece. Okay, and the and also the clamps should not obstruct the path of cutting tool. Parallelly, the clamp should not obstruct the path of cutting tool, and also the clamp should not obstruct the loading and unloading of the workpiece. That is the point number one. The second point would be the strength, or the second principle regarding the strength. The clamping system should have sufficient strength to hold the workpiece firmly against the cutting forces. Okay, the clamping system should have sufficient strength to hold the workpiece firmly against the cutting forces. Third point would be the productivity, which means the clamping time should be minimized. The clamping time should be minimized so that you can increase the productivity by using different tools like knobs, knurled screws, Tommy bars, hand wheels, and handles. So what I have shown below is a Tommy bar. So if you are using different type of tools, you can reduce the clamping time, thereby increasing the productivity. And another point would be the operator fatigue. See, pneumatic or hydraulic clamping is to be used when the number of clamps to be set up is more. If you want to use more number of clamps to hold the workpiece tightly, then this type of clamping is beneficial, that is pneumatic or hydraulic clamping. So that will reduce the operator fatigue. And another important point would be the workpiece vibration. The clamping design should be able to accommodate the variations in the workpiece dimensions. So it may vibrate while doing the machining. So we should consider all these aspects. Okay, so these are the main principles of clamping. So also you should ensure that the clamping need to be strong and rigid enough to hold the blank firmly during the machining. The clamping should be easy, quick, and consistently adequate. The, as I told you, the clamping should be such that it is not affected by the vibration. And again, the clamp and clamping force must not damage or deform the workpiece. The clamping operation should be very simple and also quick acting, and the wearing part should be hard or hardened so that, and also be easily replaceable. The wearing parts, sometimes the parts which are maybe in contact with the clamping supports, it may there are chances of occurring of wears. That part must be very hard so that the wear will be minimum. Okay, these are some of the important principles of clamping. So today we learned about the what is meant by clamping, what do you understand by clamps, what are the basic requirements, what are the main principles. Thank you.